I am creating a Wixo called Fruitso. We have the banana and the apple. And inspired off of Footso. Okay, humanity will start in the apple, I guess, and start doing stuff in it or whatever. They'll explore half of it, and then the first civilization forms, which will be the red team, of course, and pretty much just take all of this because why not? But then some people over here decide to get boats and create and decide to take over this entire island or whatever. And they'll create the blue country. And at this moment, the two areas do not know about each other. So they don't have any interactions right now. But the blue team will now expand. Will send settlers into this area up here or something, and create a new country, that's blue but also not blue at the same time. It's teal. It's like a puppet state of blue. I should probably put all these things on separate layers, but I'm not until we actually get into the modern era or whatever. So the red team will just do their stuff in this part of the island, but some people within don't really like the expansionism, so they have a little bit of a rebellion inside of it, to where they capture pretty much all of this shit. So then the red team pushes back, and now they're at a standstill because they both only have a population of 1,000 or 2,000. So they have a peace agreement. And then the orange team does what they strived not to do, and they expanded upwards. And then they would explore up here and go up this peninsula and create their own little colony like what blue did. And it's the upper peninsular stem. Yes, it's the stem. They got to the stem of the apple. It's amazing, I know. But then the colony was you know what? We can be our own separate thing, everyone. We're gonna declare independence from the rest of Orange. So then they go to war. Orange just pushes up, and they screw Brown up. So Brown's help. They send someone on a boat down to the red team over here, say, hey, can you help us? And the red team's heck no. Because they're far apart, and also red doesn't want to start a war with orange, because orange is very strong. Now, oh my god, this stupid. Okay, so going back to the blue team, they'll start exploring this. Give me the right color, please. They'll start exploring this island over here, and instead of making another puppet state colony, they'll just colonize it and make it a full part. And they also start going here, but the climate is not very good, so they just decide to leave. They leave it. They leave the area alone, because the tribes there are also not very fun. So yeah, they don't really feel like doing that very much. Hold up, let me just fix this. So now, this area is not getting much stuff from them, so they declare independence, and they start expanding with their own will, and meet up with the Reds, and they're like, "Oh, hey, we're just here to colonize you," and the Red was like, "No, just no," and they start fighting or whatever. I'm sorry that this is really bad quality, but I do not like having a non-touchscreen PC. And now the orange team sends their scouts down there and are like, "Oh, Reds, we're gonna fight you now for no reason," and that's fun. That's fun until it's not, and the red team is like, "Hey, why don't we just invade mainland Orange?" And that goes well. It goes very well, actually. To where the orange team is cut in two, giving the brown rebellion, giving them a chance to push back. But here's some good news for the orange team. They make a pushback here, and blue's like, "Wait, red colonized our colony? Who is red?" Because they haven't had any contact until now. So then blue team just retakes this and doesn't even bother to create a puppet state there anymore to increase the security. And now there's one area in the middle of all of this, and I'm gonna call it the middle zone, the middle grounds. Everyone claims it. So they'll have a conference over it. So the blue team will pretty much take that. Orange will claim this. Orange does not invite the brown team to the conference because they don't recognize them and say, "Oh, they're still part of our nation." So that's what happens there. And then they all start to claim their respective areas. Like that. But the blue team people are like, "Why are we colonizing? That's a bad thing. We should not be colonizing." So what happens then is a rebellion starts. This whole episode's just been rebellions. And guess what? It's the Teal Country. They're back from the dead on one episode. Also, because borders don't really exist yet, because the world's only 100 years old, they accidentally also expand into orange and red areas because there's no affirmative borders. And the last blue area here is this little colony over here. The brown team invades or sends scouts to this island over here. We'll call the bite, because a bite was taken out of the apple and it's floating in the ocean. And boats also somehow reach this continent. And a group of people over there would decide to create their own country. And then it's the lipstick or tan or whatever you want to call it nation, and they send scouts throughout this whole part of the continent. And then some people would decide to immigrate up to this upper peninsula there. And you guessed it, it's yellows. They are going there because they don't really think that's where they're currently settled is a good location for a civilization. They would also colonize the Bite. So the brown team is like, hey, no, we took that. So now the island is divided in two. And us, whatever you want to call it, nation expands a lot more and creates their capital right here. They create their capital right here, which capitals will use yellow dots at 6.9 pixel thing. The yellow capital is right here, brown capital here, red capital here, orange capital right here. The blue capital will probably be around here, and teal here. So going back to the normal layer, the skin tone nation will pretty much collapse because the yellow team was right, and it's not really a suitable zone for life because of all the jungle on the entire banana continent. It's most of it except for this peninsula right around here is not habitable for life. So eventually humanity will stop knowing about this area, and the yellow team will take their chance to just destroy their old creators, I guess. And so we can say bye-bye to the city and hello to the yellow team. And now the yellow team will send scouts all across the coastline looking for a place to create a colony, and they land in the blue team thinking it's more of this continent and there's just a connection right here. So they'd land and they'd create colonies all around it, except for here because except for this area right here, so humanity will just leave it and forget about it forever. I mean, not forever, because eventually this whole map will be filled, but the yellow team creates a colony here, and you see that's in blue. So that will lead to blue and yellow going to war. But because the yellow banner and the orange banner are pretty similar, blue ends up invading orange and invading it. And then brown's like, yeah, that's what you get, orange. And they'll also start conquering it by sending tribes through here. And they'll also start fighting the blues for some reason. I do not know why. And then eventually the blue army will be so weakened that the orange can push back and retake their old city. And they will also invade this blue teal country because, hey, if they're associated with blue, then we should destroy it at all costs. So, and brown would also end up getting pushed back because they had no real connection with each other. Brown just did that to possibly weaken orange, which, I mean, it did work. And then yellow was like, oh my god, there's tribes inhabiting that region. We need to power up our area here. And they'd create a colony, a puppet state here, and start fighting them. But then they were like, you know what, we don't want to fight the blues, we need to fight the yellows. So that's what they would start doing until they go up to this until they go up to the upper part of the until they start going up to the upper part of the continent and taking over core yellow land. And yeah, that's basically it for the episode. See ya.